Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to create this beautiful visual we have in front of us. It's a combination of a matrix chart, a clustered column chart, and a clustered bar chart. Let's get right into the video. So if you look at the right hand side of my screen, my data tab, you would see that I have a lot going on here. Do not pay attention to it, okay? I was in the middle of a project when I just decided to quickly share a tutorial on this visual. So just make sure you have your table. You should have a calendar, okay, which should consist of your date, month number, weekday, week number. You don't necessarily need to have this quarter colon, but week number, weekday, month number, and month are very important. Okay, you should also have your quantity sold on your table. It does not have to be this type of data, right? You just need to apply these steps that I will be taking for you to achieve the same results. You can use these processes on different data sets. It is going to work. Alright, so as long as you have your quantity sold column somewhere in your table, right? I have mine in my fact table, so I'll just be creating an average, a measure which will be average quantity. It's your quantity. It may either be quantity, it may be named quantity, or quantity sold. For me it's quantity sold, right? Okay, so moving on, I'll be creating a new measure right in my calculations table. So I'll create a new measure. It will be called quantity sold. I have initially created the measure for this quantity, average quantity sold, but for the sake of this tutorial I'll be recreating it again. So average, I'll just call it average quantity since I already have something named average quantity sold. Okay, good. So this would be divide. It's a DAX function, by the way, and it may be different for you. So according to what I have in my table, this will be the formula I'll be using. Okay, so I'll be dividing the total revenue by number of customers, and there we go. We should have our average quantity. I'm just going to quickly put it in a card so we can see. Alright, good. One more thing, I do not want it to have a decimal point, so we're going to come back here and auto turn that to 0 and hit enter, and there we have it. Okay, good. So now we'll be going on to create our visual. I don't need this anymore, so I can delete this. Right, so after creating a measure called average quantity, we would need to start adding all of those metrics into our visual. So the first visual we'll be creating will be the heat map. We'll be using a matrix visual, by the way, so I'll just set this somewhere around here. Okay, that's cool. Then I will need to impute some of these things. Make sure your visual is selected, by the way, make sure it's selected. Then you go on to add your average quantity, the new measure we just created. I'll drag it onto the values area here. Great. Then I would also add colons. In the column area here, I'll add month. So for this I'll have to go to my calendar table, wherever it is in your data set. That's fine. For me it's in my calendar table. Then I'll come here and I'll drag month and put it in the columns field, right? Then also weekday. Okay, there we have it, and visual is looking okay, right? But I don't need total and the subtotal, so make sure your visual is still selected. Come here to format your visual, then turn off column subtotals and row subtotals. Alright. Okay, we can go ahead now to want to beautify our visual, whatever color you like, right? So here in the values, so I'm going to right click on average quantity, select conditional formatting, background color, then I'll come here. I want my lowest value to be white, okay, and my highest value, so yeah, I'll go with this purple, okay, just because it will look good. So alright, and okay, there we go. Alright, there's something we do need to change. This weekday I want to delete it from here, but the only way we can do that in Power BI is to just double click. You try to rename this, so rename it as full stop, right, or period, and there we go, we have something clean here. All right. Great. I also don't like this, the whole formatting of this visual, so I'm going to come back here to format my visual. I would go to layout and style presets. I'll change the style to none. Okay, then scroll down here to the grid, click on it, options, then I'll increase the padding to, let's say, 10. Let's see how 10 looks. Okay. Okay, I quite like 10, not bad. I'll stick with 10. Okay, so I'll have to reduce this. Good. Great. Now that we have our first visual created, we'll go ahead to create our next visual, which is the clustered column chart. So I'll come to the visualization pane here and choose clustered column chart. Okay, once that's been selected, okay, I'll come onto the y-axis and I'll drag this average quantity to the y-axis, and to the x-axis I would come down to my calendar. Since this will be for the month, I will track the month and put it on the x-axis, then expand this. Okay, I feel like how the visual is looking, but we have some things on here that we would not be needing, so we'll go to format visual and turn off a title. We'll also be turning off values and titles on the x and y axis, so I just did the x axis, then the y, I did the y axis, then this is what the x axis. Okay, now that they've been turned off, we'll also need to turn on data labels. Okay, great, look good. I would now have to change the colors so it will match our heat map here. So I'll go to columns. Okay, for the color I'll choose conditional formatting, FX. I'd like the lowest to be ash, just because I don't want it to be white because of the background, so I'll choose ash. Okay, something not too dark, not too light. And for the highest value I would go with the thickest color, purple here. Okay, alright, I do like how it looks, but I have to turn off legend. Okay, great. Now that we're done with this, I will just have to replicate this other place, but I'll just Ctrl C, Ctrl V instead of creating everything from scratch. Well, I'll come here and change our chart to a clustered bar chart. Okay, then I would also be changing the month to weekday. That's what we want. Okay, and I'll also be reducing it. It's a little bit too big, and I'll make sure it's aligned with our heat map. And just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Great. Alright, if you've been watching the video to this point, you should like this video. If you found it helpful and very resourceful, do like my video and share my video to your friends, to your colleagues, anyone generally you think this video would help. Alright, great. Okay, my bar chart is looking funny, so just come back to the format visual, the data labels, and the position options. The position is auto. I would like to say outside end. Okay, great. Finally, it's all uniform. Alright, so now let's test our visuals to see how they interact and all. This is very, very important. Do not skip this part. Okay, so before I mention, when you hover on any of the bars or the columns, you should see the month and the average quantity. So this is for August now, as you can see, and that's the average quantity, 27,315. So if I hover on another bar, I should see the month May and the average quantity, like that. Then same thing here, weekday, Sunday, that's the average quantity, Monday. Great, they are functioning well. So now we have to select and see. Okay, I don't like that my heat map is acting funny. This is not good. Okay, same thing too for the weekdays, so not to worry, we can fix that. So you come to, hold on, I think my map moved a bit, so I'm just going to realign that. And there's an easier way to do this, by the way. Okay, I think I mistakenly selected something, so I'm just going to delete that. Great. So moving on, I will make sure the clustered column chart is selected, and I'll come to formatting, edit interaction. Then for this matrix chart here, I will select none. I'll do the same thing here. I'll select this. Since it's already selected, the edit interaction is selected. For our bar chart, I will also select none for the matrix chart, and let's see if it's been fixed. Great, it only interacts with our bar chart. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see it be affecting our matrix chart. Good, so I'm just going to unselect this and just final touches to make sure they are aligned. And the last thing I'll be creating here is a title. Okay. So if you're still here, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and share this video to anyone you think would need this video. Okay, cool. So moving on, we'll be creating a title. This is very simple, so just come to text box, okay, and give it a title. So the title I give this visual initially, sales patterns across days and months. So sales pattern across days and months. Okay, so there we have it. Now you're just going to format this to whatever feels right to you, Just go ahead and and edit it to your taste, format it to your taste. And I'm just going to try to place this somewhere in the middle, and yeah, we'll be good to go. And that's basically it. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up and share to anyone you think would find it very helpful. Thank you again. And if there's anything you would need me to touch base on, definitely drop a comment in the comment section and I will be sure to take a look at every one of them. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.